What's up, everyone? This is the first episode of the Mad Dad podcast. Till death do us part is what we're going to discuss today. So, we're going to give this a shot. I got some equipment here that I just got, and I don't know how to use some of it, most of it. So, this is trial and error. Let's do this. So, when you say till death do us part, most of us think about marriage. So, this is going to be about the marriage crisis in the United States, well, really all over the world, but it's real bad here. So, as of right now in the United States, 40 to 50% of marriages end in divorce. That's first marriages. Second time around, 60 to 70% of those end in divorce. And for those of us that may be crazy enough to try it 3 times, third time's not the charm, unfortunately. 70 to 75% of third-time marriages end in divorce. Now, why is this? What is the leading cause of divorce in America? Number one is lack of commitment and infidelity. 60 to 70% of divorces, when asked what was the cause, will say that lack of commitment or cheating, infidelity was the reason that they left their partner. Number two is financial problems. I guess we can kind of all see why that might be. Money, unfortunately, is the root of all evil, but we do need it to do anything. I'm pretty sure that it costs money to breathe these days, let alone anything else. So 45% of divorces happen due to financial issues. We'll get into that more too. I'm just going to stick with the top 3 though, and the third most common reason for divorce is too much conflict. This is more prevalent in younger couples, obviously. I feel like the older we get, the more we learn how to avoid said conflicts. The younger you are, the more quick you are to not choose your battles so wisely. And I think that's one of the things me personally I've been trying to work on is choose my battles. I mean, I can argue till my face turns blue, but really what's that gonna do? It's not gonna do anything for any of us. So yeah, all right. Well, the number one reason, like I said, was infidelity or lack of commitment. Men are actually 7 times more likely to cheat than women, which is kind of crazy. So let's dig into that a little bit. Why are men more likely to cheat than women are? The number one reason is, well, biologically, of course, sexual desire. Men have a much higher sex drive than women, generally. And I guess if you get married or you're with a partner who cannot match that, then maybe that would lead you to be unfaithful. I'm not making an excuse for any of these. None of these are an excuse to cheat. Cheating is unnecessary. It's not that hard to leave a relationship if needed. Even with kids, I guess they say, if you have kids, try and make it work, but you're not going to be unhappy just for your kids. So, like I said, none of these are excuses. So yes, number one was sexual desire. The second reason men tend to cheat more than women is due to anger issues. They'll use it as like a way to get back at their wife or girlfriend for, whatever they did wrong. I really don't agree with this one all that much because, it seems like nothing a woman can really do, even as far as, being disrespectful or whatever the case might be, where cheating would be like a fair way to get back. I don't really think cheating is fair in general. So the third one is lack of love. Now you're getting to where this is going to be like the end of a relationship. Cheating is a way to end a relationship, I feel like, is probably the dirtiest way you can do it. But it's extremely common. I feel like a lot of times people figure, if I find a backup plan and sleep with said backup plan and my girl leaves, it's kind of like, killing two birds with one stone kind of thing. I would not recommend that. That just seems like I don't know. I feel like a man wouldn't do that. It seems like some fuckboy shit. So, number 4 is relational neglect. Okay, so that one, I feel like, is going to be the main reason that a man would cheat, in my opinion. This is gonna involve, no love life at home, no physical interaction at home, no one-on-one time. A lot of times I feel like this happens when we have children. A lot of that one-on-one time goes away. I know, like, even for us here at my house, our kids are always around. It don't matter. There is no, we got 5 minutes, like that's not a thing. There's now that we have 2, it's even crazier. But we do our best to, find time for each other. And really a lot of activities that you do with each other, you can involve your children. Obviously not, one-on-one set activities, but there's really nothing that we go out and do that we can't take our children to go do. Go out to eat. Movies are kind of hard because they're a little small yet, but I mean, I think we're actually going to be trying that soon. Take him to a movie and see if he'll sit through a whole movie. I doubt it. I guess I probably should have started this podcast off by introducing myself, which I guess we can kind of put this on hold. My name is Cody Broadzeller. I am 34 years old from West Bend, Wisconsin. That's where this is being recorded. As a job, I'm a welder. I work for Mayville Engineering Corporation. I'm kind of just doing this on the side. My goal with this podcast, with the Mad Dad podcast, is to just discuss topics that are, I guess, hurting men, seeing that the masculinity problem, which will be a future podcast, in this world right now is disgusting. Men aren't men anymore. A lot of men just, I don't know, they're soft, and it's crazy to me. But yeah, I have 2 children. I've been in a relationship with my fiance Angel now for going on 5 years almost. July will be 5 years. We have a 3-year-old son. He'll be 4 this year. His name's Avery. And this last August 23, we had our little girl, Ava. I think we're contemplating one more. I always said 2 was crazy and 3 was a zoo, so I think we're going to go for the zoo. Yeah, so I guess a lot of these topics, the reason I'm discussing them is because, well, I'm a dad that struggles every day with these topics, financial problems, arguing at home, just, we all put up with it. It's not abnormal for relationships to be hard, but the reality of it is it shouldn't be that complicated. I feel like we make things a lot harder than they need to be sometimes. All right, so anyway, back to what we were talking about. I'll obviously tell more stories on this podcast, future podcasts, whatever. You guys will get to know me. A lot of you already know who I am, so not a whole lot of explaining necessary. So back to that relational neglect. Men need intimacy. People think that a man is just stoic. He can be by himself, and he doesn't have to talk his problems out. And this red pill community that's out here telling you that, pretty much a red pill man don't cry. A red pill man, he's strong at all times. He doesn't show weakness. Well, unfortunately, as much as we do try to do that, we need to be able to vent. And I feel like that's where our relationships come in, both physically and emotionally. We need to be able to vent to our partner. If we can't, we're going to take it out on our partner, and that's where you're going to get the infidelity and problems at home. So back on this topic of infidelity, how to tell if your partner is cheating. there's awfully a lot of ways, but I feel like you know your partner best. So you just got to go with your gut. If you feel like your partner is doing something behind your back or has somebody, uh, you'll be the first to know. I feel like don't listen to what your friends say and all that. I feel like a lot of times, uh, what's that saying? Sheep in wolf's clothing, right? Wolf in sheep's clothing, whichever direction we're gonna go with that. That's what a lot of people's friends are. They want to see you happy, only as long as it benefits them, and that's why friendships, at least in my world, aren't really a thing. I have people that I'm close to, people that I would consider my friends, but as far as involving my personal life with that, I'm not about all that. Involving my personal life with my friendships to me just feels like another roadblock, another obstacle. Having to make multiple people happy or show multiple people that you're happy. It's a hard thing to do. So yeah, if your partner's cheating, you're gonna be the first to know. Some of the signs I feel like are like secrecy, keeping secrets. We don't do that. Don't do that. There ain't no reason to keep secrets from each other. Really, what's the point of that? Talk it out. Tell them what's up. I mean, if you don't tell your partner what's going on, how are you supposed to work it out? So keeping secrets about anything is just unnecessary. You're a partner, you're a team. Work together. Simple. Improved appearance. Okay, so I never really thought about it until I was reading on it. If your significant other goes from, one day they're wearing nothing but pajamas around you because they're comfortable, and, that's pretty much what we do around here. Just, we're comfortable with each other around here, so there ain't no reason for us to be all dressed up and dialed up. But if I came home and my girl all of a sudden was all dialed up and leaving the house, and be like, what the hell are you doing? It just wouldn't make any sense. So that improved appearance, if they go from comfortable with you to feeling like they're dialing up trying to impress you, they're not trying to impress you. They tried impressing you when they got you. There ain't no reason to impress no more. They already got you. Yeah, so that would definitely be one of those situations, I guess, where I would watch a little more closely. Schedule changes, that's an obvious one. My schedule as an adult is pretty much the same every week, every month. It's just monotonous. I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's where I'm at. I'm home by 3:30. I mean, sometimes maybe 4, but I feel like if I all of a sudden would, be gone from 3 a.m. till 7 or 8 p.m., well, now she's going to be like, well, what's going on? Schedule changes, Fortunately for us, I'm able to support enough, to make ends meet where she could be a stay-at-home mom and raise our children. That's another topic for another day too, but I always told myself that when I have kids, I want them to be raised by family. I don't want a daycare or a nanny or none of that raising my children. They need to be raised in the family so they know how we do things. And in my opinion, the best way to do that is to keep her at home and let her raise our kids. As far as her schedule, it would be a little bit harder for me to, maybe catch things because stay-at-home mom's schedule is different every day. Them kids do different shit every day. So, yeah, but that's where it just comes down to trust. I have no reason not to trust her. Anybody that knows me knows what has happened in my life, and she's been through some craziness and stuck around, so I have really no reason to think or doubt her schedule. Yeah, lying and avoidance. Now, this is a more commonsensical one. I feel like if you start lying, What are you doing? Why are you doing all that avoidance? That's that pushing away shit. I feel like this is when you really need to sit down and discuss with your partner. What are we doing? If you're starting to avoid each other or trying to stay away from each other, uh, something's not right. Um, I mean, on weekends, I don't see my family really. I'm up at 1:30 in the morning, make breakfast, whatever. I'm out of the house by 2, get to work at 3 a.m. I'm there till 3 p.m., come home, do the little things we got to do, our daily routine, spend a little bit of time with my kids, and by 7:30, 8 o'clock, I'm laying down. Because I got to be up the next morning, 1:30 in the morning. But, yeah, during the week, we spend a lot of time together. I feel like it's the whole reason I took this weekend shift. I get to spend a lot of time with my kids. I love it. That's the highlight of my day, the highlight of my week. The reason that I'm willing to work weekends. Who wants to work weekends? Let's be realistic. Everything fun happens on weekends. So who wants to do that? Me. I get all week with my kids. And stuff that you do with your children that doesn't just happen on weekends. You know what I mean? Parks, camping. We go to the park during the week. We're the only people there. I ain't got to worry about no weirdo watching my kid play on the jungle gym. Like, I'm not about that. I kind of like these private parks where I feel like it's all mine. It's pretty nice. I posted a video the other day of Reservoir Park in West Allis. It was a lot of fun. I think we're going to start doing a different park every weekend just to get out there. That's what Avery likes to do. He's an outside kid, which I'm blessed for. The little girl, we don't really know yet, Ava, she likes it outside, but she can't voice it quite the same way as Avery yet. So I guess we're going to find out. But, yeah. Let's get back to, so we're talking about the cheating aspect. I guess we're going to pretty much wrap that up with, if you feel like there's something going on with your partner, it's not a bad thing to ask. You start getting to accusing and pointing fingers, well, now that kind of makes you look like you're the one that's suspicious. So don't be accusing of cheating. It's not going to solve nothing. If you feel like there's something going on, sit down, man. If you can't sit down with your partner and talk, you got bigger problems than cheating. That should be the one person you're most comfortable with, who you want to spend all day, every day with. And if it's not, kids or not, maybe it's time to figure it out, Yeah, so back to these other topics. So the first leading cause of divorce was, the lack of commitment and infidelity. The second is financial problems. There's a term that's thrown around, financial infidelity. I feel like this is the big one. Lying about what you're spending your money on can definitely lead to problems in a relationship. Again, I don't really understand that. I think a lot of couples these days, and I've been realizing this, it's like this 50-50, like your money's your money, my money's my money. No. I don't understand that concept at all. No. If she comes across money, that's my money. If I make money, that's her money. That's our money. All the money in a relationship is our money. My paycheck hits at, 4:30 on a Wednesday. Bam, by 6 o'clock the bills are paid. Instantly. First thing done. Bills have to come first, always. It's just the way life is. And yeah, I work my ass off for that money, and just to watch half that paycheck gone within a half hour of getting it is disgusting. It makes me nauseous, but it is what it is. My kids got a roof over their head. They got food on their table. Nothing cheap on them. We don't cheap out when it comes to the children. By far the biggest expense in my life are my kids. And it's always going to be that way. I feel like even now I'm 34, and I feel like I'm probably still my parents' biggest expense, or one of them for sure. So that is, maybe that's a blessing of mine, I guess. I was raised in a family that takes care of each other. My kids will always have it the same way too. If you ever need anything, you can always come to dad. That's how it's supposed to be, though. So yeah, financial infidelity is a big one. We don't worry about that problem. My paycheck goes right onto one card, and she has access to it. I have access to it. It is what it is. I make more every day, so there ain't no reason to fight over money. That's just goofy. Unexpected major expenses. Like for example, a family member has something pop up, and you got help them. See, this is a topic. I don't really understand the world today as far as family. Family values have changed. And when I say changed, I guess that's even an understatement. We are supposed to take care of each other, especially if you're blood. They say blood thicker than water. I don't know about all that. I feel like I've got some friends that I treat just like family. But at the end of the day, if your family needs you, they need you. And your partner shouldn't have any say in that at all. If her family needs something, for example, we give them that. We help them. That's what family does. And I personally have never said no. I'm not saying that we're well off, because we're not. We make ends meet, though. It's good enough, right? But yeah, I feel like you have to take care of family. So, in my opinion, pretty much the whole financial problems ending a relationship, in my opinion, is jacked. It's complete horseshit, but it's one of the top ones, so we're going to discuss it anyway. But yeah, it comes to, caring for family, your children, your nieces, your nephews, your sister, your brother, your mom, your dad. They need something and you have it, you give it. Simple. It's not complicated. Maybe that's just how I was raised. I don't know about you guys. If you want to comment on this, that would be great. Let me know. Let me know if that's normal or if I'm fucking crazy. Credit card debt. I don't know. I don't even have a credit card. I think I have like a credit builder card, but no, that's another issue that I really can't speak much on. But I do know that men on average have more credit card debt than women. And I bet a lot of the guys on here are going to tell me that that's incorrect. I thought so too. It's not. Men are actually far worse with money than women are. Yeah, I don't. Facts are facts, I guess. I would have never thought that. It is close, I guess. Men on average, I think, yeah, it's pretty close. It's not a huge gap in the average debt between men and women. Once again, like I said, as far as financial problems ending your relationship, you got bigger issues to worry about, especially if you have kids. Money comes and goes. Yeah. Okay. The third reason, the third most common thing that people divorce because of is conflict. So like I said, this is according to the Psych Central Research Center. Divorce rates vary depending on age. Older couples have learned to avoid conflict. I'm 34. I feel like I've got it kind of figured out, but I look at, say my grandparents, for example. You don't really see them fight or argue. What's the point? They've also been together going on 60 years. That's not something you see anymore. It's just not. And that the problem, and when family sees us arguing or fighting, I was always told, pick your battles. You just gotta pick your battles, I guess. And as a couple, we're gonna do things that piss each other off. That's oil and water. Men and women, we don't understand each other. We never will. We're completely different. You can't expect a woman to understand how you're feeling, and you can't even begin to understand how she's feeling. You can try, you can talk it out, but you're always going to think like, why does that bother you? Why does, and yeah, it's going to lead to conflicts. Younger couples, therefore, experience a lot more problems. So one of the main issues I feel like also is that people are getting married really young. Like I said, 34, never been married. 2 kids, I don't feel like I need a piece of paper to be with somebody. To me, marriage just seems like you're just putting a different label on something that's already there, and you're making it so that it costs a bunch of money if you ever don't want it anymore. It's sad to think like that. I mean, I would like to think I'll get married, but at the same time, kind of happy where I'm at. Like I said, the only difference between my relationship and a marriage is a piece of paper and a $50,000 day. So really, I guess, I don't know. So to recap those 3 things, the top 3 reasons were lack of commitment and infidelity, which again was 60 to 75% of divorces claim some kind of lack of commitment or infidelity was committed. Number 2 was financial problems at 45% of divorces claim to have some financial issues. And conflict was the 31%. Of that 31%, probably 80% of that is in couples, I would say under the age of 30 for sure. I feel like your 30s is where you start living your life and not really feeling like you have to explain yourself anymore. I'm me. Simple. Yeah. So the next part of the crisis, I guess, the marriage crisis, and I don't know if I've got a lot of people on the page that are going to watch this. I don't know how many of you are feminists, but I feel like the feminist movement has really kind of messed up the whole dating scene, marriage scene, everything, and we're going to explain why. I'm hoping this might spark some arguments, and that's fine. I'm going to come live on a couple of these topics in a few days here, and we're going to discuss them and see what people have to say. But yeah, let's talk about that. The feminist movement, this whole idea of men ain't shit, that women don't need men, etc. That's just crazy. All right, hold on. I ate something to drink. Yeah, that's just crazy. Men, we need women. Women, you need men. There's no way around that. You can say you can do everything a man can do. It's not true. It's definitely not true. And same with us. There's things that, women can do that men just don't have the capability. So yeah, do women need men? Well, yeah, they do. We actually, me and her, I don't know how this got brought up, but this got brought up the other day, and she tried saying that, we want a man in our life. That's why we're together. But needing a man, and I don't agree with that. I feel like you do need a man in your life or a woman in your life if you're especially trying to start a family. I mean, there's always that saying, go fuck yourself, but it doesn't really work. So if you're, trying to start a family, you can't do that by yourself. Um, yeah, and to me, that was kind of always the like goal in life, was to have kids and, you know, give them everything I had and more. So I always knew that I would be a dad at some point. It took me a little bit longer than I thought it would, but it's probably a good thing. When it comes to having children, they need their dad. This is the part where I'm gonna start getting, it confuses me how single moms these days are out here saying that they're both the mom and the dad. You're not. You can't be. I'm sorry, but a woman does not have what it takes to be a dad, and a guy does not have what it takes to be a mother. But the kid needs both types of love. It's two completely different types of love. Women seem to, as a mom, you're your kid's mom, but you're your kid's friend as well. Whereas a dad, like I hope my kids see me as their friend someday, but first and foremost, they're gonna see me as dad. What I say goes. End of discussion. We're not gonna sit here and argue and bicker about stuff. If I tell you it's time to do this or it's time to do that, we're gonna do this and that. I feel like that's a main reason that a kid needs a dad in their life, is for the disciplinary factor. Of course, there's some moms out there that are the disciplinary in that situation. Growing up, I feel like my mom was definitely the more scary one when you were doing something wrong, But it's just because anybody on here that knows my dad, he's not a real confrontational person. So that was more left to mom in that situation. But at the end of the day, the kid needs both parents. The stats out there right now, single mother homes, the children are actually 4 times more likely to become addicts or become incarcerated. That's obviously not always the case. We're not going to go into that right now, but it's not always the case. But yeah, they are 4 times more likely to end up incarcerated or hooked on substances in a single mother home versus a single father home. The best scenario for children, and really just for overall happiness, is the nuclear family. I'll be discussing that. That'll come up a lot now. Probably all my podcasts. The nuclear family is what was intended by our higher power. That's a topic I really won't discuss much about. But, a nuclear family. You got a mom, you've got a dad, and you've got kids. That's overall the best scenario. There's always going to be something that, your children are going to come to you before they come to your spouse. Certain topics, whatever the case might be. My life, I've got a boy and a girl, so there's going to be things that my son needs to talk to me about growing up that mom ain't going to have the answer for. But there's going to be them things that Ava's going to come to me about, and I'm going to be like, you should probably go talk to your mom about that. They need both. And it's sad these days to see just how many kids don't have that. I grew up in a house with 2 parents pretty much my whole life. That was a situation, I'm not really going to get deep into it, but they held it together for us, I feel like. And of course, I'm extremely thankful for that. I had a great childhood, and I feel like I'm doing my best to give my kids the same. So yeah, I mean, do me and her get into it? Of course we do. But no, we're gonna raise this family. We're gonna do it right. And we're gonna do it together. They need us both. So And the other situation is the why a nuclear family is important, I feel like, is because I always wanted my kids raised, like I said, by family. So having her stay at home, that's going to be, and it's obviously statistically proven to be the most successful way to raise children. You have a stay-at-home mom, dad makes that money. It's just the best way to do it. Unfortunately, we grew up in a world where a lot of us can't make it on one income. And that's unfortunate. I'm not saying that financially we're not strapped, because, well, I feel like everybody kind of is, but we are too. But at the end of the day, my kids have the best diapers. Our daughter has the number one formula. She's got dressers full of clothes right behind me. Brand name, nothing. Like, I feel like I, as a father, want my kids to have the best. So if that means I have to, not have the best for me, it's all right too. So I feel like women need men for really three major things. And it's what men should offer their females. A sense of belonging. They need to, women I feel like really want to feel like they belong. And when they don't, they become uncomfortable. And to have your woman be uncomfortable because she doesn't feel like she's at home, it's not a good feeling. I've been there. So that's a big one. Support. I feel like the woman's job has always been to nurture and to care. The male's job has always been to protect and support. So yeah, I mean, if you find yourself in a relationship where you're not using gender roles, I feel like that's going to cause a lot of issues too. Gender roles are very important. I'm sure we will eventually have a podcast about that as well. Okay, so the last thing is validation. I think we both need that. Male and females need validation. Yeah, so the three things, it's really not that complicated. All women really want, I feel like, and the women listening to this, if I'm wrong, please let's discuss this, but I feel like they just want a man that's honest and reliable. From what I was reading, that's 90% of women actually say that honesty is the number one trait that they look for. I just really don't understand what's so hard about that. Like I said earlier, relationships really aren't hard. They're just a challenge, but at the end of the day, like, do you wake up in the morning wanting a challenge, or do you wake up in the morning wanting a boring, monotonous, bogus life? Like, I don't know. I'm kind of enjoy the challenge sometimes. At the end of the day, I feel like being a dad is as simple as being honest to the mother of your kids on what you expect and showing up. Sadly, a lot of dads don't show up, and I think that's a main goal of my podcast and a main goal of my Facebook page, my YouTube page. I'll be linking that as well. I might start a TikTok too. I don't know, but my main goal is this. Dads not showing up for their children. Let's fix that. The best part of my life are my kids. And I feel like if you have kids and you don't agree with that, you need help. And maybe talking to fathers on here, that could be your help. personally, I don't know what I have to say to you, because if you don't want your kids in your life, I don't know if I can fix that. That's just a really sad, messed up situation. But yeah, just telling the truth and showing up for your family. I feel like if you can do that, a relationship kind of just comes easy. Now, that's the guy side of it. As far as women, if you give your man the credit he is deserved for what he does for you, it's really all you got to do. A man, all he wants to hear is that he's doing a good job, really. I often get text messages at work saying how much I'm appreciated, and how proud she is that I'm working so hard to support them. And it's like almost a thank you. And I tell her all the time, you don't have to thank me for that, it's my job. But at the same time, like, it feels good to know that you're appreciated. So really, women, that's really all you have to do, is show your man that you appreciate him. And if you don't, what the fuck are you with him for? Really, if you don't appreciate what he does for you, or if he doesn't do anything for you, why are you there? I'm not saying that I'm advocating for, instantly leaving, if that's the case, because maybe it's just a communication problem. To me, that's the biggest thing in relationships, is communication. It might just be something as simple as that. He doesn't feel like he gets enough credit for what he does do, so he does less. I don't know. So at the end of the day, that till death do us part. It just means that if you're going to get married, or you're going to be in a relationship and, commitment, it's forever. My kids are going to be part of my life forever. Their mother, forever. I would like to think we're going to be together forever, but even if we're not, you're still going to be part of my life. There's no way around that. We created something together. Families fall apart every day, and I'm hoping that a podcast, or something as simple as these posts that I make, maybe someone that's having a rough day with their spouse will see that and realize, we can fix this. There's no reason to jump to conclusions. Obviously, there's certain things that can't be fixed. Infidelity. If you did fall out of love, you fell out of love, and I'm sorry if that happens. That's something that no matter what I say, I can't fix that. But yeah, relationships are going to get hard, and it's just the way it is. And the dating scene now and finding somebody is just so crazy because of this like hookup culture. I'm just gonna say I'm glad I'm at where I'm at. I come home to a beautiful woman every night. I have 2 amazing children, and I don't have to worry about this trying to find somebody shit. It's crazy out here. It's like no commitment, short term, very, like that pump and go relationship shit. And I've never been like that. I have no reason to switch to that. It just seems like right now finding a committed partner is harder than it's ever been. It's crazy. I had a few people comment saying that social media is a big problem in relationships, and I agree. It's so easy now to meet people, and unfortunately that means it's so easy to hook up, to meet people that's literally what they're out here looking for. It makes relationships harder for sure. But then again, that's, give your partner your passcodes. Once again, why are you hiding anything? Go on my Facebook, give a shit, go ahead. Go look at whatever you want to look at. You want to go on my messenger, go ahead. You want to see who I'm talking to, go ahead. But I ain't got nothing to hide from you. So at the end of the day, that's really all you need to do. If the person you're with is not, in your eyes, the most amazing, beautiful, fantastic person that you could ever imagine being with, don't commit. Don't sleep with that person. I mean, at the end of the day, all it takes is that one time. You sleep with somebody and have a baby, now you're committed. And if you're not, that just makes you look like a piece of garbage, in my opinion. The second you bring a kid into this world, you're a family. And you're kind of there now. So wrap up, I guess, if you're into this hookup culture. I don't know. Something's going on in this world, and I don't know what it is. I don't know. Love to me is not a word, and the sooner you realize that, the better off you're going to be. Love is simply a commitment. I don't know. People out here having kids with people they don't even like that. It just doesn't make sense to me. How are you going to successfully raise a good kid with somebody you don't even like? You can't even tolerate this person, and you're going to try and raise a family with this person? That's insanity. Yeah, I'm not going to speak too much on the whole single mother or single father thing. It's a sad situation. I see it in my family. I see it all over. Moms having to play dad. I don't really know any single dads. I might know a couple. But I know more single moms for sure. And it's crazy. Like, where are these guys? How do you not want to be part of your kids' life? Anyway, before I get too much into that, it's just crazy to think that in the 1800s, for example, when a family would break up, split up, the guy got the kids. There wasn't custody battles. There wasn't none of that. The guy got the kids because the guy was always looked at as the dominant force in the family, therefore the most capable of raising children. Now you've got, most states for sure. I don't know if it's every state. It's definitely Wisconsin that they're 100% on the mom's side. I'm not going to say they're wrong because a kid needs their mom. But at the same time, I'd like to think I'm capable of raising my children if I had to by myself. I would never take my kids from their mother. That doesn't really make any sense. I watch it every day. My son's favorite person is his mom. My daughter's favorite person is her mom. My favorite person is my mom. Like, that's just the way it is. But at the same time, these women out here that use their kid as pawns and, like, withhold them from their dad. It's just, I don't know. That's going to bring up some arguments with some of you, I'm sure. And, if that's what you're doing, I guess shame on you, kind of. I get that. I mean, if he doesn't want to see his kids, well, then shame on him. He's a piece of shit that ain't a man anyway. So then you can keep him away. But if you're out here keeping your kids away because he's not giving you enough child support, and if he's working, giving you anything, be happy with that. The state is determining the amount most of the times. That's a whole nother topic, though. The topic of child support. We could talk about that for hours, too. Child support was started as a good thing. Originally, the whole concept actually made sense. Now the percentages and how much they're taking per kid, and like, I'm sorry, but some of these women don't have to work because they can live off of what the child support is, and yet their dad gets to see them 2 days a week. That doesn't make sense. But yeah, so I guess really it's the goal of the Mad Dad podcast, and really what this episode was about was that we need to get back to how it used to be, how this world used to be. Love used to be a thing that was like desired, and now it's a thing that's feared by a lot of people. Love is a very sharp sword, I guess. You can really hurt somebody with that word. And generally the ones that get hurt the worst are the children, and that is the main thing about this podcast, is that these kids need us. They, like you've heard, and they didn't ask to be here. We ask, for the blessing of them. I feel like I wake up blessed. Coming home from a hard day, the only thing I need is that smile, Kids smile at you, it's over with. That your shit day just turned into paradise. So I guess it's really not that complicated, y'all. We got to learn to love each other, and actually care about each other, and start families with people that we actually enjoy being around. At the end of the day, I guess kids learn by what they see. And this till death do us part, when you marry somebody, or when you're committed to somebody and you start a family, the kid's going to see that. My son is going to treat women how he watched his mother get treated by me. My daughter is going to expect to be treated how I treated her mother. If I abuse or I mistreat their mother, what's that teaching my kid? That it's okay for them to do that? Or that my daughter should ever accept a man to talk to her some type of way? No, that's dead. That's not how this works. So yeah, your kids learn by what they see, by, not by what they hear. They can go to school, they can have their parents in their ears their whole life telling them, don't do this, don't do that. But if they see it being done, why wouldn't they do it? So I guess really, don't make the till death do us part commitment if you're not ready to do so. It's simple. Yeah, so I guess with that, we're going to wrap this up. I don't know. I think it went okay. A lot of preparation. I didn't think I realized how much preparation goes into a 1 hour talk about, the marriage crisis. And I could have went a lot deeper on a lot of these topics. But I'm looking forward to comments. I'm looking forward to suggestions. I'll be ordering another microphone here hopefully in the next couple of weeks, and at that point we're going to have guests come on and talk. That's when we're really going to get going. So this was kind of just to get this page going. Mad Dad community, thank you all so much for getting involved with the questions of the day, and just watching my clips and responding. Please, if you watch this, leave me a message. Either DM me, comment, whatever, and let me know what I can do better, what I did good, whatever. Yeah, and I look forward to hearing all that. So thank you guys for tuning in. We went for 55 minutes. Not bad. Yeah, so I'm going to give this post a couple of days, see what kind of buzz we get, and then I think we're going to go live either this weekend, early next week, and discuss these topics and see if we can't get some kind of a debate going, and we'll go from there. Have a great night, everybody.